Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astro Advisable. So today I will be completing the classes with regard to planets and their placements in different houses. So today is the last session with regard to Ketu in the 12th house. So we all know that Ketu is the Karaka for the 12th house along with Shukra, which is the Karaka for realization of materialistic luxuries. It's as good as understand, as good as equating it to realizing the senses. That is Venus. When you smell, you really get the same smell. When you touch, you really feel the same thing. It's not that when you touch something hot, you feel cold. So that is Shukra. Ketu in the 12th house is the Karaka for moksha. So what is moksha? Moksha means realization. Here, people have got a very wrong concept of moksha. I don't know whether my concept is correct, but still, I know that the other concept is wrong. Why? Because they feel that the 12th house moksha means that realization of God. No, it is self realization. The 12th house is realizing your own self. How does this particular aspect become important in life? Is because if your 12th house is strong, you will be able to understand your life better. And if it is posited with a strong Ketu, you will understand it much better. So, the first step of elevation towards salvation is self-realization, and that is what is the importance when Ketu is posited in the 12th house. So, I keep writing some, passages and some paragraphs, but here a very simple phrase I have explained from first house to 12th house, and I call it, it's from a pupa to a butterfly. It's not even a pupa, it's from the egg. The egg becomes a caterpillar then eats, then transforms into a pupa, and then the pupa opens up into a butterfly. So these are the transformations of a cycle of a butterfly which we can see. It happens in most of the beetles, in most of these insects. There are beautiful modifications they go through. It's as good as a new life. So from first house, which is sun, I call that the seed, bija. Then you come to the 7th house, that's the pupa. And then you become the butterfly. Then why am I comparing butterfly to the 12th house? Is because it's beautiful, it's endless beauty. Butterflies, if you keep seeing those colors, the patterns, the vivid patterns, it's beautiful. And that is Shukra. You cannot make sense of those patterns, but it looks beautiful. So that is Shukra. And how come, sir, you are comparing it with Ketu also? Because it is bliss. That beauty is not the beauty of lust. That beauty is the beauty of bliss. So it is endless beauty and limitless bliss. So you get limitless bliss with Ketu and endless beauty with Shukra. But please keep in mind, if Shukra and Ketu both are posited in the 12th house very close by, let's say if there are 7 degrees apart from each other, you get both that endless beauty and limitless bliss. But if they both are very close by, Ketu gets into a malefic combination and Shukra also loses its strength. So let's now go to purely the subject of Ketu in the 12th house. 12th house also means materialistic luxury, materialistic realization, and it also means journey, settling abroad, and going, into uh, business with foreigners, foreign language. So let us go through it one by one. Spirituality is the way of life for people who have Ketu strongly posited in the 12th house. Losing one's identity, they happily lose it. What is losing an identity? Identity is that what they make of you and how you identify yourself in a particular situation. And this is what is identity. So losing it, slowly losing it, it's like the vapor which happens from the ocean. The ocean doesn't suddenly vanish, but there is a lot of vapor which goes up into the sky. So it's like that. The identity, the ego slowly vaporizes and evaporates. So a weak Ketu, this person, however rich, however big he had built his empire, he will be dethroned. That is, he will suddenly lose his status. So, losing the status is also a kind of losing identity because his identity itself was the status. Loss of job, when job becomes the identity. Wandering without any aim. People cannot stay in one place. They keep quitting job, they keep changing places. Ketu in the 12th house is one of the biggest Karaka for this if it is weakly posited. So a person, when it is strong, Ketu is strong, a person will have very good intentions. So his way of transacting with the outer world is with very good intention, but he may not be openly able to tell what he actually wants to do. So there might be some miscommunication because of the Ketu, but still, though he is not able to relate himself to the situation, his intentions are always very straightforward and good. If it is weak, fundamental difficulty will be there. That is, he will have difficulty in belief and faith and trust. So these layers are very subtle and very important. If a person does not have belief or faith or trust on anything, anyone, or any particular situation, he will not be able to handle it properly. So that's what I am trying to put out. So weak Ketu, tough to handle. Strong Ketu, extremely strong Ketu, again tough to handle because he will not be able to suit himself within the social frame. But a normal Ketu, a simple Ketu without any afflictions, well posited in a good nakshatra, that person will go silent. He will not unnecessarily make, what we call as a halla balla, making a lot of noise. No, he doesn't make a lot of noise. So, they are good in foreign languages, they are good with foreigners or people with the, a far away thing. I'm not talking about any race or racialism is that different race. No, I am talking about even in the same country. If a person is moving from one geographical area which is having a particular type of a culture to into another geographical area to suit his own self there to adapt. It's not easy. So Ketu will be very easily able to adapt to situations. So that is what it is. And if it is a weak and malefic Ketu, destroyed Ketu, and people will, get into hospitalization, there might be a stroke of the brain, suddenly becoming blind, losing sight, going into problems of epilepsy, because this is also related to a particular part, which we call as the 12, 1 and 2. This particular cluster is the head, feet and the eyes. So this hits the way you think, that is sleep, falling into coma, these are all hard things to manage. Going into schizophrenic problems related to memory loss. So a weak and a malefically associated Ketu is a tough thing. Wasteful journeys, lot of loss in business investments, poisonous bites, food poisoning, all bad things. When it is malefic and totally destroyed Ketu, I'm telling you, it's not a normal Ketu. Migraine attacks, sleeplessness due to constant pain, eye defect, even the feet, it represents the feet. People who are having the bad habits of tobacco, smoking, getting into diabetes, and then going through problems of gangrene, cataract operations, because the 12th house also represents a part of the left eye. The second house represents the part of the right eye. So please try to understand, it is not that only the second represents everything. So the 12th also represents the part of the left eye. So these things are very important when you are going into medical astrology. But coming back to the most important part of Ketu in the 12th house, these people will get an opportunity one time or the other in their life for self realization, and if that is the time they take it up very seriously, they will achieve a very peaceful, tranquil life. But there is, it's not easy to recognize that particular period, when to fly. When should the butterfly come out of the pupa? When should the butterfly first open its wing and pump the blood, make it big, and then fly? When should it? Only once the butterfly flies from the pupa and then searches the flower of, with the nectar, only then it will get the amrita. Amrita is ambrosia. So if you have to drink ambrosia, you need to go through all these tough process, of mutation from seed to caterpillar to pupa, then you become the nymph, that is the butterfly, and then you become the adult butterfly, and then have bliss, beauty, and also the nectar. So, in the sense of Ketu in the 12th house, this is one of the best positions for any given chart. So if it is strongly posited, it can take over all the other planetary combinations and rule the chart. The difficulty is you get very less charts with a strong Ketu in the 12th. So thank you very much for today's class. And God bless for this particular thing. I have finished this, from Sun in first house till Ketu in the 12th house. So from that, with this, I have finished this particular series. So next coming, I have already started Sun Mars as a combination. Now I'll be doing the next combinations like Sun Mercury. I have already done as Budaditya Yoga. Then Sun Jupiter, Sun Venus, etc. God bless. Thank you very much.